Hello, hello. It is a beautiful day here today. If you are in the US, you're probably enjoying your hopefully long weekend, Thanksgiving break. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Thanksgiving, about a few thoughts I've been having, and of course, things I've been reading, hearing from others, and just contemplating on that. Once again, I'm Nicole. Welcome to the Dance and Territory channel, where we talk about the land we inhabit, the cycles of the land, and us, of course, as part of the land, where we connect to the land through dance and through little talks. So, Thanksgiving. Um, what's up with Thanksgiving? Should you celebrate it? Should you not celebrate it? What are you confused? Um, of course, if you are my generation or older, maybe a little younger too, I don't know what they're teaching in schools nowadays. Um, you were taught this little fantasy tale about the first Thanksgiving, and the Pilgrims came together with the Native Americans, Indians at the time. Um, and they had this wonderful feast because they had a great harvest that year and they all came together and as a wonderful, happy community, and then everyone lived happily ever after. Of course, we know that this is a lie. Of course, we know that, yes, there were some collaborations, of course, between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. I mean, the Pilgrims survived thanks to the traditional ecological knowledge that the Native Americans of the area had. Specifically, the Wampanoag tribe comes to mind, the Wampanoag Nation. Um, but then we know that the rest of U.S. history is genocide, forced removals of people, the stealing of lands, conquering, colonizing. I mean, that's just how it is. Um, so, taking all that into account, today, if you think, okay, how, why, and what am I celebrating at Thanksgiving? I'm obviously not celebrating that. If we are against everything, all of that history, if we are against current policies that are based on racism and colonization, how can we celebrate Thanksgiving in a ethical way? What are we celebrating? The other day, I was watching a video by the Wampanoag Nation on the National Day of Mourning or Thanksgiving, talking about how for many Indigenous people, Thanksgiving is a national day of mourning in the sense that it is a recognition of, the beginnings of all this genocide and land stealing that occurred. And so, taking into account that for many people, this is a very sad day. And at the same time, it's the time of the celebration of the harvest. And one of the women in the video said, talked about indigenizing Thanksgiving. And I thought that was a very interesting and powerful way to think about this and to go about this. Because the traditional Thanksgiving meal, as they were saying in the video, is all crops from that are native to the Americas, specifically that area of the country. But in general, when we think of, the harvest time, the fall harvest, and what we're celebrating at this time, all these foods that we're eating are native to the Americas. And we have them thanks to the traditional ecological knowledge of all the native nations, the native indigenous people that for thousands of generations cultivated corn, squash, all those typical foods, potatoes, all of that that we are eating during this time, even the cranberry sauce, even turkey. So in the video, they were talking about, okay, yes, these are all traditional foods, but there are also so many other traditional foods that can be eaten at this time. And if we think about it, the US is such a huge mass of land and it is so varied. Maybe in your area there are other local foods that you can incorporate into your Thanksgiving meal at this time. Maybe if you're in California, you incorporate acorns. There are so many varieties. Maybe if you're in the Southwest, you might have nopales and tortillas de maíz, and like corn tortillas. Maybe a Thanksgiving meal can look very different in different areas. And what we are celebrating at this time is the harvest, the last harvest before the winter, before everything gets cold. We are celebrating and giving thanks for this bounty that we have. And that's always a beautiful thing. Um, it's always great to be able to come together with friends, family, with loved ones, and to celebrate that we have food, that we are enjoying our time together. So Thanksgiving, most people today celebrate, giving thanks. But in essence, we're celebrating the fall harvest. The seeds that were planted in the spring and that grew in the spring, and that the fruits and the veggies came to maturity in the summer, and then now in fall they're ready for harvest. Of course, we've been harvesting things throughout the whole summer. All the summer fruits and veggies are delicious, and this is like the last big harvest before winter. So it is important and wonderful to connect with those energies, with the harvest, with being grateful for whatever bounties we have in our life. And if we're talking about being in right relationship with the land, it's always, of course, a good idea to see where your food comes from. Do you know where your food comes from? Maybe you might check out your local farmers markets. There are also, going back to the native food discussion, indigenizing our Thanksgiving meal, there are many providers of native foods that might not be the typical 12 fruits and veggies that you find at the grocery store. There are native providers of native foods that you can check out, and it would be great to support and to have at your Thanksgiving meal foods that that were grown in right relationship with the land, grown responsibly, organically, in right relationship with the people who are growing the food, that they're taken care of, that they're paid well. All these wonderful human values, or maybe not even human values, all these things, these good values that are important to support. And, why not incorporate this into your Thanksgiving? And so I'm making this video kind of late. Maybe this video is finding you a little late, and you've already bought all your ingredients for your Thanksgiving meal, or you have been invited over to someone's house and they've already got everything done. But this of course goes beyond Thanksgiving. It's not just a day, and especially when we're talking about restorative justice, when we're talking about going back, and when we're talking about land back, when we're talking about right relationship with the land. And if you look at US history with regards to the Native nations, and you don't like what you see and what you hear, good. You're a sensitive human, and you you have a good moral compass. But you don't have to just look at the past and say, "Oh man, that was awful. That was horrible. Wow." Okay. there are plenty of things that you can do today, here and now, in the present, that will restore balance, that is about restorative justice, and that is about right relationship with the land. If you are not a Native person and you do not know of the Native nations of your area, look them up. Find them. Find the indigenous communities of your area and listen to what they're saying. Read what they are writing. See the art they are making. Listen to what they're asking for and do it. The sun is the sun's coming up. So that's coming in. Just be open. Be open to learning. Be open to being a part of the community that you are a part of, being an active member of the community, participating in community events, participating in different actions that benefit us all. So you don't have to be stuck in the past, and say, oh, that was horrible. What our U.S. community ancestors did. You can actively, as a person here and now, do what you think is right. And if you don't know, you can ask. So, if you're in Southern California and you're watching this video, you can check out Friends of Pavunga. You can check out the Tongva Taraxat Conservancy. I'm probably not pronouncing the second name right. I've never heard it spoken. There are so many organizations and associations that are doing the work that needs to be done. So join in, sign up, show up, and be a part of your community. So I hope you have a lovely, lovely Thanksgiving. I hope you have something to be thankful for, and I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoy it if you're able to get together with other people, even if it's virtually a video call, and share a meal. I hope you enjoy that and you feel very blessed. So until next time, bye bye.